Talk about briefly is telephone town halls. And I believe this is perhaps one of the most underutilized, most effective tools to activate a large grassroots audience quickly. Have you ever tried hosting an in-person event on your own to recruit supporters, get the word out about your issue? You rent a room, you run a bunch of ads, maybe you send out some postcards, and then what? 15, 20 people show up and we call it a win, right? We all celebrate that. Well, we had a client who dialed out, this was 3-4 weeks ago, to 15,000 people in a few Nebraska legislative districts, and 1,200 people joined this call, joined this event, listened to our speakers for an average of 15 minutes. I mean, think about it. When is the last time 1,200 people showed up to one of your events? We asked them to press 1 if they agreed with our issue. We asked them to commit to calling their legislator the next morning. Hundreds of them agreed. And they got their bill out of the committee and it's headed to the floor for a vote right now. Same thing in West Virginia. This was on a bigger scale. We dialed out to 110,000 people. 6,700 joined the call. They listened. This particular call happened to have the governor on the line. I talked about a tax cut plan going through the legislature, essentially urging people to get this bill out of the House, out of the Senate, and onto his desk so he can sign it and cut their taxes. Great stuff, right? We identified exactly who agreed. And keep in mind, these are everyday folks. These are not the same people who are going to show up to a random listening post on a Tuesday night. These are people who vote, certainly, have an opinion, absolutely, but are less likely to be activated by some of the more traditional means. Back before COVID, we talked to a lot of folks who said telephone town halls, were dead. And maybe in some cases that was the case, but you know what? They have come roaring back for people who use them really strategically, especially now that we're dialing out to people on their cell phones without any opt-ins. What we're doing is we're reaching people where they are, not just if they happen to be sitting by their landline phone watching Wheel of Fortune at 6:30 at night. Huge audience, huge participation, and really, really specific, really actionable data.